Hello, everybody. It's DJ here with another Monday Motivation. I hope your week has started out great. Well, 2025 is officially started, and it is going to be full of opportunities and it's going to be full of challenges. And the biggest thing that I think we need to be aware of is that we need to be prepared. You see, let's be honest. We're not promised that we're going to see the end of the year. I mean, in fact, we're not even promised we're going to see tomorrow. But what we can do is know that we are going to walk through this year trusting in God and leaning on Him and following His lead. And I really think that if we can live with purpose, if we can trust God, that He's in control and don't lean on our own understanding, that we're going to have a great year. But I think there's some things that we need to think about as we get into this year. First of all, there's something that is fundamentally true that we need to understand. And that is that this year, while I think it's going to be a great year, this year is going to be a year that is going to try and is going to test you. Without a doubt, it is going to try and test you. There's going to be these great moments of joy that we're just going to experience some wonderful things, but there are also going to be some incredibly difficult challenges. I mean, some of us are actually going to walk through valleys of despair and pain and struggles like we have never seen before. But others are going to see joys and blessings like we've never experienced either. And the thing there is that with any of that, the good or the bad, we can face it if we are trusting in God. In Romans 8:28, it reminds us that in all things, God works for the good of those who love Him. Now, that does not mean that if you are a child of God, that your life is going to be easy. It doesn't mean that at all. But it does mean that you can trust Him, that you can face those days, you can face those times and those struggles. You can face the highs of the mountaintops where you can see the beauty and the splendor of all the blessings that God has given you. And you can face the valleys and the darkness and the shadows that lurk and the pain and the struggles that you face. You can face both of those because you are anchored in God and that God is leading you. Are you prepared? Are you leaning into God's word? Are you spending time with Him in prayer? Are you making sure that you can sense His presence around you because you are so connected to Him? We want to look at the storms of life that are going to come, or even the blessings of life when they come. If we're not prepared for those, to face those things, if we're not prepared for them, then we're going to struggle in a bigger way than we would if we were prepared for them. Preparation doesn't start right when the storm hits. It starts right now. It starts today. And it's important for us that before the hard times hit us, that we actually are making preparations, that we are staying close to God, and that we will be sheltered under His wings. Now, that doesn't mean that everything's going to go as just perfectly. I mean, people are going to get sick. Maybe even we lose people along the way this year. We just have to make sure that we anchor ourselves in the one who knows the future, who stands outside of time, and He's been here from the beginning, and that is to trust and love God. And the second thing that I want you to make sure that you remember is that if we want to make 2025 a year that matters, a year that really means something, that it's going to start with one thing. It's going to start with one thing. I really want you to hear me on this. And that is that we seek God first in everything that we do, that we seek Him first. It's not seeking God after you kind of checked everything off. It's not what we want to do. It's not when it's convenient. It's first. You seek God first. Matthew 6:33 tells us, "Seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." This verse would tell us that this means that this year is not about you. It's about God. It's about following Him. It means that it's less of your plans and it's more of His purpose. It's less of your comfort and more of His calling. Let me ask you a question. When you sit there and you think about, are you seeking God first? Are you seeking Him first, or are you making excuses? Are you waiting for the perfect time to get serious about seeking God first? Friends, let me tell you something. The time to seek God is right now, this very minute. If you're not doing that right now, or you know somebody that's not doing it right now, you got to seek Him right now. You got to stop holding back. You've got to give everything over to God. You've got to give Him your time. You got to give Him your heart. You've got to be devoted to Him. You got to listen to Him. You got to be in conversation with Him through prayer. You got to give Him your energy, not your leftovers. I mean, that's really what so many people do. God doesn't want the leftovers. He says, seek Him first. And first means that He gets the very first of the what you have to offer. Give that to Him and don't hold back. Next, I think that there's something in the world that we just don't talk enough about, and that is, life isn't about what you can achieve. It's about what you can give. It's about what you can give to somebody, how you can serve somebody, how you can make somebody's life better. If you want this year to be different, you got to start by serving others. And Jesus said this actually in John 13, verse 14. He says, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. The Son of God washed His disciples' feet, His followers' feet, the rabbi, the teacher. In that culture, the rabbi and the teacher was held up in such regard. They would have thought it so foreign to sit back. And you can see that in Peter's reaction in that whole narrative there of Jesus washing the disciples' feet. Peter was like, no, you're not going to wash my feet. But here is the Son of God washing people's feet. If the Son of God was willing to come to this earth, wash feet, what an example is that for us? That we should likewise find ways to serve other people in ways that may not be this grandiose thing. We don't have to serve people with anything more than the fact that we are purpose, that we are serving and doing what God asks us to do, to love one another, to serve one another, to help people who are struggling and people who are just having such a hard time. And just maybe it's somebody in your family, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's somebody in the community or a group in the community that are doing something. Maybe it's a total stranger. You can always find opportunities each and every single day to show love and appreciation and show the love of God to somebody. You can serve them with a heart of a servant, like the Son of God, like Jesus did. And when you serve others, you're shifting your focus away from you and you're shifting it to the kingdom. Big or small, find a way every single day this year to do something good. Seek out opportunities for kindness. Seek out for opportunities to serve somebody else. Don't worry about figuring out if they're worthy of it or not. They are made in the image of God. Serve them. Don't worry about being defrauded. Serve them, and you will be better for it. Do it, I promise, and watch how your faith will grow. And then last, I want to leave you with this. We need to make this year count. And what I mean by that is, time is short. It's really short. James 4:14 says, you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. I don't know how much more time we have. I don't know how much time you have. I don't know how much more time I have. Instead of that bringing you down, let it inspire you. Let it make you live each day with a purpose, and make that purpose be to glorify God in everything that we do. Let's stop wasting our time on distractions or debates or concerns and worries about things that are of no matter. Let's drop the grudges that we have and let's focus on what really matters. And that's loving God and loving each other. If we do that, imagine how immensely better life would be, not only for you, but for those around you. So let's work on making everything count. You know what? Look, let's not wait for someday. Someday is today. And it's important for us to start today, to seek God first, to serve others through the lens of introducing them to God and being the hands and feet for God, and to live every moment like it matters. Why? Because it does. 2025 can be a year like no other, even in the face of the lowest lows or the highest highs. I can tell you that this year can be amazing because we do it together and we do it with God in the lead. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I dread the thought of what challenges we will face. I look forward to the blessings that we will face. But if we go with God, we will have a banner year in 2025. So let's make that happen. All right. Hey, don't forget about the Faith Forge Challenge. We are several days into that. You got about a week that we're almost in there on that Faith Forge Challenge. I know I'm sticking to mine, so I hope you are as well. So if you want to know what that is, go back and watch the last video of the year, and let's take me up on that Faith Forge Challenge in 2025. Hey, I hope you have a great week. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. Bye.